Looking to buy your dream home or rent that perfect apartment? With the Redfin app, you'll know the moment your next place hits the market. Set up your gotta have it wish list, and Redfin will send you real-time notifications for properties that match. And when you're ready to see it in person, scheduling a tour is just a tap away. Thinking about selling? Redfin can do that too. In fact, Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so they know how to get the best price for your home. And with a listing fee as low as 1%, Redfin charges half of what others often charge. So you can save big, like really big. Last year, Redfin saved home sellers $118 million. So whether you're buying, renting, or selling, Redfin's ready to help you win. Download the Redfin app and start searching today.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Want to sharpen your aim, save money on ammo, and train like the pros? All from the comfort of your home? Meet Mantis X, the cutting-edge dry-fire training system used by the Marine Corps, Army, and Special Forces to build precision and confidence. 94% of shooters report improved accuracy in just 20 minutes. And you could be next. With Mantis X, you train with your own firearm, anytime, anywhere, without wasting a single round. In less than 2 weeks, the system pays for itself in ammo savings alone. As a proud gun owner, I believe in the Second Amendment, but rights come with responsibility. That means refining your accuracy, mastering your skills, and staying prepared every time you train. Whether you're a new shooter or an experienced marksman, Mantis X helps you train smarter, shoot better, and defend what matters most. Get yours today at MantisX.com. That's MantisX.com.
Did you know that Game Pass or Pass is brought to you for free because of Spotify for podcasters? It's a totally free platform, and you can make a podcast today for free. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else that podcasts are heard. And if you think about taking your podcast to the next level with a video podcast, Spotify can help you too. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can also earn money in a variety of ways that includes ads and podcast subscriptions. So what are you waiting for? Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcast to get started right now.
Now time for a very back alley edition of Game Pass or Pass, the podcast where I'm keeping that. The podcast where we play games on Microsoft's Game Pass service and tell you which games to pass on to your friends and which games to simply pass on by. And this week, we hit the streets. We hit them so hard.
Get back to the streets. That's where I'm from.
And we were so angry about it. We had some rage we had to deal with. Not Bethesda's Rage, but Streets of Rage 4. Throwback. Might have heard about it. But before that,
might not have actually.
Yeah, it's possible. Before that, I am Corey. I am joined by Basher.
What's deal good, sirs?
Before we talk about Streets of Rage 4, we got to talk a little bit about you suggesting some games to us. The Game Pass day one releases are slowing down a little bit, so now's the time that we can maybe play some other games. Why don't you email us at gpopfans@gmail.com and tell us what you like about the show, and tell us some games you want us to check out. Tell us some games that you discovered on Game Pass, and maybe we'll play them and we'll pass it along. And while you're at it, why not give us a rating? They really help out. They really do. But let's talk about Streets of Rage 4. This is developer. I have the old notes in here because it is not Splash-Emu. That is not a real developer. So I'm going to butcher this because it's a French developer. .emu, in collaboration with Lizard Cube and Guard Crush Games. Regularly priced at $24.99. It's available on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox, of course. Does not have crossplay though. Even on all these platforms, and it does not have crossplay. Not even between Xbox Live, PC and Xbox, but it does have cloud saves. So if you are playing on one or the other and you want to take that data over, you can do that. As of right now, there's no DLC, and for you Xbox One X enhanced owners, unfortunately, you don't get any X enhanced features. So it's lacking a little bit on the crossplay and the X enhanced, but the style of game, it's not a huge deal. So Streets of Rage 4. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So my first quick story. I download this game. I launch it, get it to run. I'll play the first level. My first thought was, okay, I don't have to play this ever again. I'm done. I had no luck with this game. Like immediately, I'm just like, yes, this is not grabbing me. Up the difficulty a little bit, I kept playing, and I realized this beat 'em up has way more depth than I first thought. And it's the good kind of depth, where it's like you can still cheese the heck out of it, and it's almost okay. This one I think might grow on you.
Yeah, no. So Streets of Rage is a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and it's when was the last one? So Streets of Rage was mainly a Sega franchise, if I am remembering correctly.
Yes.
I guess I could have looked it up, but I'm not going to, because RTX voice doesn't filter out my keyboard. I'm very upset about this, NVIDIA.
Typing right now, I can hear a word.
You jerks. Look, can you hear that?
Wait, no, I can't.
What? No way.
Oh, it's super light. It's super low now. I have to listen for it now.
This is insane. This is insane. This is
It's
not the
working
RTX
now.
podcast, but this is awesome. No, so Streets of Rage is mainly a Sega franchise, and it was never a game that really struck me though. I play a lot of side-scrolling.
You're wrong. Streets of Rage was dope.
I'm not saying it wasn't dope. I'm just saying it never grabbed me for whatever reason. Even though it was kind of, I don't want to say it was the de facto, but I remember, at least looking at it now, people really enjoyed those last couple Streets of Rage games. Streets of Rage 2 and 3 particularly. And I am a huge fan of these games in terms of the genre. I have played even the obscure ones. I have played The Death and Return of Superman. Why? It's an okay beat 'em up. I really like it because you play as all these different characters. But in terms of just a beat 'em up needs to be good when each character feels unique, they feel different, and it has a skill ceiling that is not immediately noticeable. You learn things as you go, you discover different combos, you discover different ways to juggle, and that's where Streets of Rage was always great, and that's where bad beat 'em ups like The Death and Return of Superman and Batman Returns fail, because you just literally walk around and punch people in the face. That's all you do.
Two crew dudes.
What?
You ever played Two Crew Dudes?
No, I've never.
Oh man, you ever seen two crew dudes? It's about two crew dudes, and it's not good.
That was the Genesis game as well, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Would you classify Comic Zone as a beat 'em up?
I'm not a freaking idiot, so no.
See, I would.
That's an
but that game's
action.
hard.
That's an action. That's
Now,
more action adventure.
According to Google, this is a beat 'em up.
Comic Zone?
Comic Zone, yeah.
Oh wait. I guess why wouldn't it be though? Why wouldn't it be?
It's not.
If you take Streets of
Man.
Rage 4 and just instead of going left or right, you went left, right, then back down left, it's the same concept.
Yeah, maybe. Let's move on. So Streets of Rage 4, to get back on track here. So it is a beat 'em up, and it's a dang good beat 'em up. Like you said, first level I was kind of like, okay, like I see what you're doing.
That's what it was.
I see what you're putting down. Like you're walking around, you're beating them up. Then you keep playing more, and just like, all right, like I did a little sweet combo that I bounced this guy off the wall. That was cool. I can customize what my health pickup looks like. I went with the cheeseburger, obviously, as well as the pizza slice. Obviously.
You gotta go pizza slice. Shout out to TMNT in time.
Exactly. I was more of the TMNT arcade game guy.
Is still very good. Still very good.
Yes. The Turtles in Time that's a good game. Don't get me wrong. Is that on the SNES Classic? I don't remember. If it is, I want to play that now. But so it took a couple levels for me to sort of warm up to it. But then you start, I don't know, there's just like the way the music is, the art style.
There's a flow in this game, man.
Yeah. And it's good. Like it's really good.
Like it's one of those games that it doesn't. So we were talking about like a game like Dark Souls and difficulty, and it doesn't tell you anything, so it's super cryptic, and it's like, well, I know I couldn't or supposed to do that or could do that or whatever. This is one of those games where the simplicity of it is kind of the magic, because there's a depth to it. Like I said, that is hidden behind that. So like when you first knock a guy up into the air, your instinct is to keep swinging, of course. Then you're like, wait, I can juggle that enemy. Okay, all right, good to know. And it's like, oh, he hit the edge of the screen and then he bounced back. I can continue juggling. I see. Yeah. It's like, wait, I can knock him into the screen, off of the screen, and then to my co-op partner here, and then we can juggle them in between each other.
Yep.
This is getting kind of nasty. Add into that the special moves that I am a big fan of, because so often in these games you have the special move system where, and it was actually in Streets of Rage, where it's like if you hit the two buttons at the same time, you do your super move, but it takes health away. In this game, you do that super move, you can get that health back as long as you keep hitting things and you don't get hit. And I think that's just part of just an undercover genius mechanic that just keeps you going, keeps you in this game. And I just love how it promotes the beat 'em up aspect of the genre.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to keep playing it because I look online at people that are good at this game, and like I thought I was decent at it. Like oh yeah, like I can do some basic juggling, and I get some sweet defenses where the dude's about to like charge me, and I hit that special button just quick enough that I knock him out of air. I'm like, yeah. Then I see people that know how to play it, and I'm like, whoa, like I didn't even know you could do half this stuff. Like the stuff that like blows my mind is when people will combine a combo by like tapping the attack button twice but not finishing the combo, but then they're still stunned, and then they can get a couple more hits in because they do that. Like you said, there's a flow there that it doesn't teach you, but it's very discoverable, because at some point you're going to do something different, because you're being attacked or you're trying to dodge something, etc. So you're going to learn how to sort of attack better. But it also, the enemy variety is enough that it's going to encourage you to try different things. I don't love all the enemies. I think some of, like, God, the dudes with the shield, man, those guys and the karate guys, those karate guys, I don't like them.
The karate guys are whatever to me. I agree with you with the shield guy, because the shield guy is in every action game. Like where it's like they show up, they have a shield, and it's like, okay, so I have to break your shield before I do anything else, and it just always just sets you back. And it's very cheap.
They're never, yeah, exactly. They're cheap. They remind me of freaking Maximum Carnage shield guys. Where those guys, wait, is that the right game? I don't remember which game. There's a game where the dude with the shield, and he moves slowly, and you want to hit him, but somehow they always hit you first. And it's like the knife guys in this game. The knife guys in this game.
The knife guys. I'm so okay. I hate the knife guys. So the knife guys essentially it's just a guy that double holds like a butterfly knife, like with both his hands, and he'll just run at you. And you think he's the easiest guy to dodge or deal with because he's going so slow with the smallest weapon in the game. But
who holds a knife like that? Nobody.
I don't know. I can dodge bosses and the shield guy. I can dodge anyone else, but I love him because it's the same enemy that annoyed me back when I was a kid playing this game. Because I'm like, wait, how is he hitting me? He was directly on top of me. There's no way he can just move down and I get hit by a knife. But you get stabbed by a knife all the time at that guy.
What's weird is when I'm fighting other people and all of a sudden one of those guys is like, because they can go and pick up the knife. Like, they don't have to spawn with the knife. They will go and get the knife. And whenever that happens, I have like a mini panic attack. And I'm just like, oh God. Like, and I just wait. I'm like, he's going to start running. He's going to start running.
Oh yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
All with snaps. I'm like, he was fighting a guy over there. I'm like, dude, like, he dropped the knife. He's going for the knife. Go get the guy for the piece of the knife. I'm like, got the knife.
You don't know what you've just done. You have killed us all, sir. You're now going to die.
And the difficulty spike is a well-earned one, I want to say, because once you get into that flow, you think you got it, and then there are situations where you're like, oh, I don't really got it, and it forces you to play differently. It doesn't force you to beat your head against the wall and kind of say, oh, well, this sucks or whatever, but it's really just forced you to play a different kind of way, and I really appreciate that as well.
I was gonna say, it definitely it's a lot. The game is longer than I anticipated. I was thinking like 10 levels, but it's like 12, I think. And some of those levels are really awkwardly short, but I will agree. Yeah, like, so kind of about like level 4 or 5, I was like, okay, like I'm sort of, I don't want to say like I've mastered it, but like I've got the flow down and everything. And then the different enemies that it starts throwing at you, but it's almost like a Doom-like, to where when they start combining different enemies, it sort of really changes up how you're playing. And that's the sign of good enemy design for me, is when just by combining them, it creates not a frustrating flow, but a flow that forces you to adapt. And I think that's always a strong case for a beat 'em up like this kind of thing. So
absolutely, because they all work together, and I think I'm gonna use this word again. I think the genius design this is the fact that the enemy AI and the new enemies that they added are so, they still worked with the older mechanics in the game, because as you progress through this game, based on your score, you unlock the old characters, the old sprites with the old sounds, the old moves. So you can play as Axel from Streets of Rage 1, have no dash, not have the 2 super moves, and feel severely handicapped at first, but then you realize the enemies were designed for that character as well. So you can play as literally any character and feel right at home and not ever feel too handicapped. In fact, I actually got to the point where I unlocked a Streets of Rage 3 character. Was it Blaze? Yeah, Blaze, the girl. And she still had the cheap, I think like a backflip kick. You just roll bosses with this kick, because there's some invisibility frames in there that they did not take out of the game, and it's just like you're playing old school beat 'em up with a new school feel, with this surprisingly in-depth gameplay. Like, I by halfway through this game, I was just more and more surprised at how they were able to throw in everything into this game, but there not be a lot at all really, yet be complex enough to hold your attention.
Right. And I'm all about this game. But I do want to say that it is sort of, we I feel like we've been using the word homage on this show very frequently lately, and I don't know why that is.
You have not been. Never said before in my
So
life.
yeah, maybe it's just a word stuck in my head. I think back to our very first episode. Do you remember what game we played?
Of course I do.
This is the part you say it.
What? What's
This
up
is
now?
the part you say the game.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want me to actually say it?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm testing your knowledge.
What was our first game?
Full Metal Furies.
That's right. It was
Whatever.
full. Yeah, I remember that game. I like that game.
Yeah, so I think of that game and I think of like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and Castle Crashers, and that's sort of the modern beat 'em up, right? Like they do so much more. Like they've taken the genre and sort of
Right.
expanded on it in a very different way. And I don't usually bring this up because the nature of Game Pass is subscription based, etc. But like this game is $25. That's a lot, man. Like that's a lot for a game that you finish pretty quick. And like you definitely can go back and play it again and there's more to extract from it. But when you compare it to something like a Castle Crashers or a Full Metal Furies or Furries, whatever it was, and a Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, like those games were not only cheaper, but they did significantly more. And this game is straight up like this is Streets of Rage 4. You know, it is not a retelling, it is not a rebranding, it is not a revolutionary. Like this is a straight up sequel. So I'm not mad at the game for that, but I just think it's kind of weird that it's priced so high, and it's like I feel like this would be like a $10 thing, right? Like it's like, oh, like we made another one of these, you know, like Sonic Mania. Like this is exactly what you want it to be. This is exactly what you think it is. And I'm almost kind of like, man, I really wish they would have put all that stuff into it because I want to see what this game would look like with all of the extra stuff that has come with this genre now. Again, that's not a criticism, but I just wanted to kind of say like it's kind of strange that they're treating this game the way that they are.
I think that could be a criticism. I mean, especially when you compare it to games that came out like in the like the game you just said it, and you get so much more in terms of just content. So I think that's a fair thing to bring up because, like you said, the game is not long, but it's longer than you think it is. And once you beat it, you could be done with it. You can run. I mean, I'm gonna run through it a couple more times, but honestly,
yeah, there's enough that the characters play differently that you can get more out of it, kind of thing. But I don't like. It really is just the price for me that's sticking out. Like again, but if you have a Game Pass subscription, which you probably do if you're listening to this, like that's not a big concern, right? But if you were asking me if you don't have Game Pass, like if someone came up to me and was like, I don't have Game Pass, but I want to play Streets of Rage, I'm like, it's a steep price. Like $25 is a lot of money for what this game has to offer. So yeah, I don't.
No,
I
agree with that because there's just not there's not a lot of. It's one of those games that is like it burns twice as bright and it's out just twice as fast because there's not a lot of meat in the bones here, but it's a situation where it's actually perfect for Game Pass because of that. Because to your point, if you ask me to drop 25 on this, knowing what I'm going into, I'd probably say I'll wait till it's like 15. But
I'd say 10, but yes.
I mean, I put an extra 5 on this, but I'm a sort of a Sega nerd, so I get a little more behind seeing the old school Axel and Sora and Skate and in all these characters. So like, and I want to play as them, all of them. So like, so for me, like, I'll agree with that completely. Just I wish there was more here, but at the same time, like
What
having it
is
on
here is
Game
very
Pass.
good, right? I
Right.
don't I don't want to play that game of well, this is what it should have been kind of thing. I hate that argument. And like the possibilities, but when what is here is very good. So I like the music a lot. I like the aesthetics a lot. I think it looks pretty neat. The animations are super super solid, and everything that it's doing is good. And I want to emphasize that over what it's not doing. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, definitely just give it that. Like, I guess my question to you is, who did you end up did you main the same character all the way through, or did you play off different characters and find different ones that you liked?
So forgive me, I don't know the names of any of the characters.
Yeah, you got Axel, you got Blaze.
So Blaze was the one with the guitar. Yeah.
Blaze has a guitar? No, Blaze is the lady.
Well, there's two ladies.
Blaze is the kicking lady. Cherry's the other one, I want to say.
Cherry. Okay. Yes. So I started with Cherry, and she was kind of cool, but then I tried Axel, and I don't know. To me, Axel felt kind of I don't want to say boring, but he was just kind of there. And then I switched to Blaze, and then I sort of stuck with Blaze, and then I unlocked Adam. So Adam ended up sort of being what?
He's like the heavy essentially.
No, that's Floyd.
Yeah, right.
No, so Adam is the first guy the first character that you actually unlock. Like he's not a retro character. Like he is a retro character, but this version of him is it's a modern character. Like, he's kind of like an unlockable character. So I stuck with him mainly because I really enjoyed his special abilities. So basically like the special abilities, you've got a defense, you've got an offense, and then you've got a moving one. Am I making that up right? Is there 3 or 2?
Of the special
the
moves?
jumping. So Adam's defensive special ability, he basically just does like a roundhouse kick, and I use that a lot to sort of defensive, because I'm really bad at the people that do like jump kicks. Always get me. I don't know why. A jump kick is my kryptonite. So with him, I could just tap the Y button, and it was a very good defense, and it was very quick. So long story short, I stuck with Adam, but I think Blaze was probably my first main. So.
Yeah, Blaze specifically from 3. When you unlock that character, she's just kind of broken. I'm a big fan. She's still kind of broken.
Yeah, so I definitely I want to check out the rest of the characters, but you basically unlock them by just keep playing. There's not a certain thing you have to do. It's all score based, and so there's quite a few characters. I think there's 12 total. So I think there's 12 characters to unlock plus the 4, so there's 16 characters in this game, and they all definitely play a little bit different. But no, this is a game that I'm definitely going to like. I'll throw this in when I've got half an hour sometime and sort of revisit it and then unlock a new character and check it out and keep playing and go from there, kind of thing. So
absolutely, I was a big fan. Like the boss fights especially were fun for me, because it's like the bosses had their own little. Actually, well, before we get to boss fight, I think my favorite level was the one, because I first ran through most of it solo, and I love the stage where you go through the dojo and they throw just wave after wave after wave of enemies at you.
Yeah.
And it felt like that scene in the raid or what's that other movie? The other movie called Lonely Boy. But just that it's like one long hallway fight scene. It's just like felt just, it's like a rush, like, oh, like you think you have, because you fought these characters so many times during the gameplay so far. You're like, oh, these guys are easy. Just like, oh wait, there's like 15 of them on screen, like, and it just felt real. It felt like a good. And then for a game called Streets of Rage, it really brought some rage to the streets. It's like this is a lot
Right.
happening at once. It is a good time. And it's I'm just really surprised that I really love Streets of Rage again. Like I just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, the name of the movie was Old Boy, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It was bugging me because I knew Lonely Boy wasn't right, and
It was absolutely wrong.
it took me longer than I'd like to admit to find it. No, I agree. Like this is a really cool throwback, and it's done in a way that I really enjoy. So I think it's time. I mean, I think we gave it away. Game Pass or pass?
Uh, let's pass it on to some buddies.
Yeah, I think if you don't play, if you have, I played this game solo. I did not play with anybody, and I still had a great time. But I think even if obviously this should be played with friends, but if not, you can still play this game. It's a
I
really
mean,
cool.
you don't really need friends. I mean, like it felt good solo.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's either way, it's good. But I mean, beat 'em ups are always more fun when you've got more people, right? Like,
It was
maybe.
a little weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a little weird. Like I got like the flow's different. That's all I just thought. That's why I put it.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know, man. Now you're making me second. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So yes, Streets of Rage 4. You should play that. You should play that game. So, but all right, that is gonna do it for this episode. So now when it comes time to talk about next episode, and it's a little up in the air. So we were going to play Moving Out, but it does not have online co-op. So that normally this was a game we would play because it was a day one. I won't say release, but it was Game Pass thing, and the listing for Xbox Live is wrong. It says that it has online co-op, but it doesn't. It's very disappointing. So
How is that possible? But your other games, like, it's just weird.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, so we're debating between. We started playing Human Fall Flat, but we also have to go back to Halo. So which one?
I mean, gotta finish the fight.
Oh man, you want to go? You want to go back to Halo over Human Fall Flat?
I mean, we've been saying we're doing Halo for quite a while here.
As long as we get them all out before Infinite, that's all I care about. No, I'm honestly fine with Halo. I'm just being a jerk. So
I'm just trying to think, like, because my thing. Well, we'll talk more about Halo and what I think about it actually, because I enjoy going back through these games because of some revelations I'm having about the series.
is that a teaser for next episode?
Cliffhanger and the show right now. Just cut it.
Cut it. I can't. I have to announce that next week's episode.
We're out. Game
Halo
over, guys.
Chief Collection, but more specifically, Halo Combat Evolved. And then I'll cut it there just for you.